John Constantine is a comic character created by Alan Moore, who originally appeared in the Swamp Thing comic as a sort of consultant to be used whenever something mystical was going on. He was created as a sort of morally ambiguous sorcerer, but evolved since then, becoming a sort of cynical anti-hero. His soul was damned for summoning a demon at one point, and at another point for having sex with a succubus, and knowing he can't really do anything about it feeds his cynicism, but he's a good person who reluctantly can be brought out to heroics. Also, he was physically based on Sting. Weird, huh? Anyway, he got his own series spun off from the Swamp Thing comic appearances called Hellblazer, and now his own movie. Now, I know what you're thinking. If the comic is called Hellblazer, and the movie is called Constantine, that's probably censorship, right? Actually, it was to avoid confusion with the film Hellraiser. To make it more interesting, Hellraiser was the original title of the comic, but they also changed it for the same reason. Anyway, I didn't see this one when it came out. It was marketed poorly with a crappy trailer, and I wasn't really sold on Keanu Reeves as John Constantine, but I decided to see it for its inclusion into this feature. The plot in the movie is sort of a mixture of two different stories from the Hellblazer comics, and some original stuff as well, and it does make a basic fundamental changes to the characters. For one, Constantine has a power. Aside from his magic, he's able to see half-breeds, or demons and angels that inhabit humans on Earth. As a young kid, he believed the visions meant he was insane and committed suicide, but doctors resuscitated him. He spent a few minutes of hell because of this, and since then he knows that he is damned for taking his own life, and has been trying to buy his way back into heaven by exorcising demon half-breeds, banishing the demons back to hell, which he calls deporting them. Another change is that the character is no longer British and resides in Los Angeles, but honestly, this was a good decision. There's something about Keanu Reeves that just kind of stumps me. He's at times one of the worst actors I've ever seen, and at other times he's okay. I think it really has more to do with the director than anything, but one thing he cannot do is accents. He's tried it several times, but no matter what, it sounds horrible. So making the character American makes sense. Even if it wasn't done to cater to Reeves, I'm just glad they did it. The movie has to do with the balance between heaven and hell being tipped by Mammon, the son of Satan, who has found a way to enter the earth realm and take it over. He needs to possess a powerful psychic and divine help, in other words, help from God. He finds a powerful psychic, but she kills herself to avoid becoming his vessel. The rest of the movie has to do with her sister Angela, played by Rachel Weisz, who first comes to Constantine to investigate her sister's death, believing that she'd never kill herself, but gets caught up in it, as she also shares the same psychic powers. The divine help comes in the form of the Spear of Destiny, still stained with God's blood. There's also a morally ambiguous angel involved, and Satan himself makes an appearance near the end, though not as a bad guy, if you can believe it. Turns out that he believes in patiently waiting to take over the world, and that his son is just being a rash, spoiled kid, so he actually helps Constantine, who also finds a way to fuck Satan over, so you gotta hand it to Constantine for that. I wasn't originally sold on Reeves as the character, as he's not really grizzled enough to play Constantine, but they're definitely going for a different angle here, and it works. Like I said, Reeves can either be really, really, really bad or okay, and in this one he's okay. The visuals in the film are really impressive, including the representations of heaven and hell and the various demons, the creepiest of which to me was the one made out of insects that attacks Constantine at one point. The film does have some action near the end, but for the most part it's really more of a detective story, just one mired in religious iconography and the occult. I have to say that I came away liking the movie. It has a good pace, it doesn't dumb down the character or the storylines, and it treats the source material with respect, even if it's not devoted completely to adapting it. Constantine just goes to show that you can adapt a comic into a movie and make changes, but still respect the source and do a decent job of making a movie. I'll give it an 8 out of a possible 10.